So this session is going to talk about how to open a bottle of wine that is stoppered with a cork or an artificial cork at tableside. A couple of things you're going to need before you approach the table with the wine. Firstly, you're going to need a waiter's friend, and I recommend a good quality waiter's friend that has both the little knife to cut the foil, but also the staggered lever. So not one lever, but two levers built into one. Secondly, you're going to need a napkin, and that will become important as we go through the opening process. So we are going to look at this quite basic today. Once we've taken the bottle of wine to the table and asked the guest to check that it's the correct wine, neatly and carefully holding the wine with the label facing the guest. We're then going to make a cut on the foil and remove the top of the foil. So we can open our small knife on our waiter's friend to cut the foil. Now, really important here is we want to cut the foil underneath the glass lid, all right? And I'll explain why in just a minute. So we take the bottle and very neatly and carefully, we're just going to take the knife, and when you take the knife, just angle it upwards towards the top, and then just do a full turn of the bottle with the label coming back facing towards the guest. And then we just lift the knife up a little bit, which will allow the top section of that foil to peel off in one piece. That foil is rubbish, so that can go in your apron because you don't want to present that to the guest. Now, when we make that cut with the foil, it is possible to get very small shards of the foil left around the cork. We want to try and avoid that getting anywhere near the wine. So our napkin will just allow us to take one clean wipe of the top of the bottle, and we're then good to open the wine. Knife's finished with. That can go away. We now open the waiter's friend, and we use the top of the screw to just place in, and then we lift it up as we turn it upright. Then just literally very carefully turning the corkscrew almost all the way into the wine, but not quite. Okay? Again, as much as possible, try and keep the label of the wine facing towards the guest. We then close the waiter's friend with the first step on top of the glass lid, and then gently lever the cork away from the bottle. Step one, move it on to step two, and continue to lever so you almost remove the cork from the bottle. Top thumb goes on top of the cork just to keep the cork in position as you delicately remove the corkscrew from the top of the cork. The corkscrew can then go away into your apron, and then you carefully kiss and sort of work the cork off the top. Now, the sound that you want to hear when you remove the cork from the bottle is more of a sort of kissing sound, like so. Cork upside down, placed in front of the guest. So the wet side of the cork is facing away from the table. Okay? Some guests will pick the cork up and examine it, or maybe even smell it. Then, last step is to give the guest a small amount of the wine to try, and then when you finish pouring, just twist the bottle, and that will stop any drips. You can either hold it with your thumb in the bottle, or if you feel more comfortable, you can just hold the wine like so. Now, important thing when you're pouring a small sample of the wine for the guest to try is to pour enough. So that's about 40 to 50 mils of wine. It's very common just to pour a very small amount of wine in the glass, and that doesn't really give the guest enough wine to smell and to taste. Once the guest has approved the wine, you then pour the table, starting with the ladies, finishing with the gentlemen, and always finishing with the guest last, whether the host last, whether the host is a male or female. And that's our simple step to opening a bottle of wine.